Hello, this is Crispin Flintoff from Not the Andrew Marr Show. Before this video starts, I'd just like to ask if you'd subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because we will be covering the general election from a totally different perspective from what you get from the mainstream media. We'll be talking about the candidates who are taking on Labour and the Tories and pushing them all the way. So please subscribe and get updates.
So Pamela, you've run out of roads to go to. You've got lots of people volunteering for you. What's the response been?
It's been really positive, and it's been the case throughout. Wherever we are canvassing, people are telling us on the doorstep that they're sick of Labour, they're sick of Tories. So when we say we've got an independent candidate, they're really pleased about it. So housing is a key issue in Harrow, and you've probably seen we've got all these tower blocks that are being built, and they're not really popular, and there's too many of them, but they're built, the justification given is that we have a housing crisis. But the problem is the tower blocks that are being built are too expensive for most people to live in, so they remain largely empty. And they're being marketed abroad to countries like Singapore. So they're being used as investments rather than housing for people.
Are there any particular issues that concern you yourself?
Well, the buildings that are just propping up, especially the tower block.
Not once has our MP, for once, voted with his conscience or indeed the will of the people in Harrow. And we've made our will very clear to him, you know, with our emails, with our marches. He knows our views on these issues, but it's of no consequence to him. He doesn't care.
I mean, he's been the MP for 27 years. Most people have never heard of him. You know, if you talk about Gareth Thomas, they think it's the sports person. They don't think it's an MP. So he hasn't really made that much of an impact. And he seems to take more interest in just protecting his position as an MP than actually making any real change in Harrow. So nothing has really improved. But most people would say things have got worse, not just under the Tories, but under Labour as well.
People have lost faith in the two main parties, something I never thought I'd see in my life. I mean, there was always been this tribalistic, my dad voted Labour, oh, we've always been Labour, oh, we're all Tories here. People aren't saying that. People are so fed up with the two main parties.
Local people know that I've been involved in doing things for years.
A big issue in our area is multiple occupancies and people living in really awful accommodation, and rents are really, really high. So when we say Pamela will campaign on rent control, it goes down really well. People like her. People like what she has done in this community.
Have you thought about how you want to vote this time?
Absolutely, Pamela. I came to one of your hustings. I was very impressed.
Oh, that's
you seem
fantastic.
like the most decent and honest person from among us.
Oh, that's
really happy to see you out and about, and I wish you all the best.
Gaza issue, just mentioned it. I mean, is that something you're hearing on the doorstep?
It's a huge issue, huge issue. I mean, Harrow is a very diverse area with a large Afghan and Somali community, Pakistani, Iraqi, Iranian. But it's not just the Muslim community that are concerned about this, and that's the assumption that Gareth is making. But it's concerned to everybody. Any decent-minded person is really concerned about it.
Lots of people, previous Labour voters, previous Tory voters, nobody wants to vote for the established parties because Labour voters say they're offering the same thing. Often people say, we feel really uncomfortable about the genocide. Ethnic minorities talk about Diane.
Hustings, where Gareth has refused to come to Hustings. What's that about? You know, because he doesn't want to answer about Gaza. He doesn't want to answer about austerity. But what sort of MP is he going to be under Starmer if he can't come to Hustings and talk to people face to face?
I believe in the principle and the individual, and so I'm afraid Pam, for me, is the one.
So you're inclined to vote for Pamela?
Yeah, I am intending to, because she's independent.
Yeah.
And I have more trust and
Right.
independent people than
Right.
a whole party kind of a thing.
The fact that she set up the law centre, you know, and knows about the issues in the area is really important, you know.
Yeah.
You've just been saying you've been working all day hard on a building site, and now you've come to canvas. I mean, you're very dedicated.
I wasn't going to. I said I've had a hard day, and it was 28 degrees today. I mean, in the blistering sun, and I didn't plan to come out, especially because England are playing. But I thought, I know I can convince more people. I know it's that easy. It's that easy to convince people at the moment that, you know, both parties are not offering anything for working class people, and it's like, you know, and these are the people's doors we're knocking on, and it's so that's why I was better come out tonight, and I'll probably go out tomorrow night, but maybe not Thursday or Friday because I'll be a bit tired because it's the end of the week.
Lots of people in London are focusing on 1 or 2 seats and not on this seat, but this one could be winnable.
Yeah.
So, do you have a message for people who are maybe in London or near to Harrow who could maybe help you?
Yeah, we're 20 minutes from central London on the Metropolitan line. This is a winnable seat, and that's what's so frustrating for us, because we've got a really dedicated group of volunteers who are out all the time, mainly local people, some coming from nearby, but we need more. And there's no point having thousands of people in one constituency and then we lose another constituency. We are getting such a positive response on the doorstep. And a lot of it is because I'm local, people know what I've done, but we can't get round. It's a huge constituency. We can't get round it with the number of volunteers that we've got.
And what we want is change, and real change, and change that's local, where people can identify with the individual and identify with the issues that that individual is talking about. So it does make a huge difference.
Make a trip to Harrow and help us.
Yeah, let me just reiterate that. The atmosphere here is really good. The really friendly team you've got here, and you'll be a great MP.
We want to see her there in Westminster. We want to see her sitting in the seat currently occupied by Gareth Thomas, because he is wasting that seat.
Come along, look at all these great people who you can meet on the canvas. They might even still be sunny. And is there an ice cream parlour near here?